Welcome to Inside Out. I'm your host, Haleigh Gross. Here I'll be discussing teens' experiences on social media, mental health awareness, body positivity, trend alerts, and so much more. Though the fashion industry and media have their faults, I pledge to show young women that they can love themselves even if they don't fit the ideal beauty standard. Self-expression and confidence are the keys to making yourself stand out and get in tune with your creative mind. Now to the show. Hi, welcome to the third episode of Inside Out. We're in a different location today because we got kicked out of the other studio because we were taking too long. But today we actually have a lot of things to talk about. I was supposed to bring a guest in here. Hopefully she'll be here next week. Her name is Millie Smoke, and she's a Florida rapper that she has a few songs blowing up on TikTok, and my boyfriend, he did a music video for her that I did behind the scenes whatever for. But so I'm gonna bring her in and she's gonna talk about her little message and just her music blowing up on TikTok and media. And yeah, but she said that she got the COVID shot, so she couldn't come in today. But that's okay, because we're going to talk about a lot of other things. I have Bianca and Alana. She's new intern. Yes, so I'm still going to have guests today, but I wanted to start off by telling a cute little story about my morning. So this morning, I'm driving along. Don't do this, by the way, because I never said I was a good driver, but just don't do this because basically I'm driving along holding my Cliff Bar, eating my granola bar with one hand on the wheel, and I'm making a left turn, so I'm probably a little speedy there, and I see this huge gathering of cars, and I'm like, okay, this is like a daycare or something, and there's cops orchestrating maybe the car line or whatever. But yes, so I was just driving along, and there was a bunch of cars there, and I was going however miles per hour, driving along. The first car ahead of me, they were just like, okay, go. And then they were like, all right, pull off to the side. And I was like, whoa, amazing. And then, because I was already rushing out of my house to get there. And I was probably 5 minutes away from my house at this point. So they pull me over, and the cop comes to my window, and he's like, hello, do you know how fast you were going? I'm like, yeah, I was speeding. And he's like, you were going 52 and a 35. And I was like, yeah, I was doing that. No excuse. I don't know what to say.
Be a better driver.
And I'm like, ah. I wasn't crying because I was kind of more like, are you serious? But also, I've never been pulled over before, so I didn't have time to get into the whole crying mode. But also I can't afford a ticket, so oh no, well, I wasn't. But yeah, so he comes over and he's like, all right, I gotta get your license. And I give him my license, and he's like, oh, have you ever gotten a ticket before? I'm like, no. He's like, all right, well, you probably won't get one today. And I was like, probably. Okay. So he takes my license and he looks at it, and then he looks at me and he's like, you know who you look like in this picture? I'm like, and I was like, I thought he meant that I don't look like my picture, so I was taking my glasses off, and I went like that, and he was like, oh, you look like Jessica Simpson in your photo, and I was like,
at least she's pretty.
I was like, haha. But he was like, oh, you don't think you do? And I was like,
nah, you're so right, bro. You're so right. Don't give me a ticket.
And I was like, am I allowed to talk about a speeding ticket?
Yeah, why not?
I didn't even get a ticket. This was just funny, the boba cop. Anyways, so what makes the story a little bit more funny So after he says I look like Jessica Simpson, he takes my license, whatever, like runs it through the system, comes back and he's like, all right, we're gonna let you off on a warning. And I'm like, that's good, thanks. So he then just was like, okay, like you can go. And then I like look over to see if like, I don't know how tickets work. So I was kind of just like, does he have to give me like a warning slip or something? Like, does he have to like put something on my car? Like, I don't know how that works. So I was just kind of waiting there, and then he like sits back on his car and like crosses his arms and like crosses his legs and he's holding a boba tea in his hand. And I'm like, oh my God, I did not just get pulled over by Boba Cop. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. And that's the story.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. But what I wanted to talk about this week, besides that story, if that hadn't have happened, this probably would have taken a different turn. But anyways, so I am going to be talking about the issue of fast fashion this week because I wanted to talk about that in the making of this show, but I did not. I didn't start with that. I started with like more deep stuff, but I'm gonna talk about this today. Basically, if you don't know what this like fast fashion debate is, basically, it's just like with Amazon and like all these little affiliate companies with really cheap items, none of it is made here. All of it is imported, and that's why we get it so cheap. And oftentimes where we do source our really easily like obtained materials, they're from sweatshops with like kids, because kids in different countries have such different labor laws, and they're making sense just to feed their family. So it becomes a moral issue for us, because when we order like $100 worth of stuff from Amazon, it's a lot of stuff. But if we were to just order like 2 pieces of clothing from like an American producer, it would be a lot of money as well, because it does take time and money to produce it, and people in America aren't trying to lose their more quality materials.
I mean, you go to Shusha's and one dress is like $80.
Yeah.
But it also looks like a sock.
Is there stuff made in America?
I don't know, but I will never shop there again. I'm on a Shusha strike.
What's wrong with it? My friend works there.
Oh, I hate that place. So my friend and I went, I don't buy anything from there, mostly just because of how expensive it is. And I was like, whatever. My friend and I went in there, and she goes to like try on some clothes, and there's a dressing room. So she walks in there, and I'm standing on the outside. And this girl, she comes up to us, and my friend Jackie's like putting on her clothes. She's putting on her clothes, and the girl's like, you guys can't be in there. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I was like, oh, my friend's in there. She's like, your friend can't be in there. Like, she needs to come out. And I was like, oh, well, she's changing. And she's like, no, like, she needs to get out now. And my friend peeks her head out, and she's like, I don't have any clothes on. And she's like, you need to get out. So she, like, is trying on this dress, and then so I go in there, and I tie it for her real fast so she can come out. And then the girl freaks out, and then I'm like, you can't have 2 people in the dressing room. And I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry, I didn't know it. So I take a step out. And then my friend goes to take off the dress, and then I literally hear and see 3 of the sushi workers staring where my friend is, literally talking bad things about her in front of me. And I'm like, you guys are terrible with customer service. They're literally speaking about my friend in front of me as they are staring at her and literally pointing at the dressing room she's in. And I was like, this is where I'm going on strike from sushi at this place.
What
The one in Boca.
What did
the
they
one in
think
the
your
mall.
friend? Yeah, what did they think your friend was doing?
I don't know. They were just like, oh my god, like this girl, like oh my god, just saying all these mean, nasty things that I'm like, girl, I'm gonna knock you out. You and your weird little sock dresses. I don't like that store. I think the clothes are not worth the price. Like, I'm sorry, but why am I paying $80 for that? I can go somewhere else.
You're right, but would you rather pay for a sock dress made by a literal infant in Thailand?
I'd rather go take that money and put it into a boutique. Like, for example, we had this girl who came in last week. Her name was like Okani or something. And she hand sews her clothes and she sells them at a reasonable price. I would much rather buy them from her if I am going to spend that money on that dress.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I kind of think that Shusha might be fast fashion as well.
Yeah,
Because
most
for the
likely.
quality of the clothes, they're not good.
Yeah, no. Like if you go to the mall, all of those, unless it says like made in America or something, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
little boutique that's probably gonna they're probably gonna recycle that store like 10 times throughout the year. So it probably just will not stay.
So why do you care about fast fashion so much?
You know what? I just think it's a worthy discussion to have. Just because, I don't know, everything, like you order something from Amazon and it can get to you in like 2 days, but you never think about where it's coming from.
Have you had any like really bad experiences that, kind of helped you out with this decision?
On TikTok, it's a really people are talking about oh, don't support fast fashion, go to American made stores or go to a thrift store. But then there's the whole, oh, don't gentrify thrift stores because we need to keep them cheap. But also, there's so much clothing waste, in the oceans. There's just thousands of, coagulations of, clothes all over from these, sweatshops.
Do you like thrift stores, or are you like, ew, no, I would never shop from there?
I love thrift stores. I love going to thrift stores. I think it's fun. I think, I'd rather rummage through the clothing for, an hour to find one thing that I like rather than walk into Forever 21 and pick up,
Ew.
a shirt just, upon walking in. I do like Forever 21, though.
What is a clothing store that you would never buy from? That you're just like, this store is not it?
They have those little stores in the mall like Agachi and Papaya, and they're all the same kind of clothes that are weird cotton poly spandex materials, and it's really unflattering to your body, and they're really cheaply made too, and they're coming from.
And they're jacked up in the price though. They're like $90, and you're like, why are these pants $90? They're awful.
Yeah.
So what clothing stores do you recommend for those who are tired of buying from fast fashion?
Honestly, I say go online. If you're not a thrift store kind of person, go on Depop or eBay and just go look for pieces, because I don't know if they're necessarily going to be cheaper, but it's going to be you're resourcing it from somebody else, and you're going to get exactly what you want probably from another person. Yeah, and if it has a little defect or something, you could get it cheaper.
That's true. What is your fashion style? Like when you wake up, if you had to label yourself as one or two things with fashion, what would you pick?
Sorry, there's a lot of piano going on. I would say, I don't know. I wear something different every day. I have a different style every single day of my life, I feel like.
I feel like you're very, I wouldn't say alternative necessarily, but I think fun. Definitely fun.
Thank you. I
Like I
appreciate
like her
it.
like wearing like a fun, beautiful little sweater with a fun print on it. They're on some fun jeans. Like most girls are like, bless you.
Ugh, thank you.
Most girls are like, I'm gonna wear my black leggings with my white tube top and my white shoes. Like that is such a basic outfit. You are not basic. You're fun and funky and fresh.
Thank you. Oh, but do you think it's wrong that they're stepping out in their Lululemon leggings and a tube top?
Oh, totally. It's like the ugliest thing ever. I think that it's a phase that every girl goes through where for a moment they're like, okay, I'm gonna kind of go with the flow and be safe, because it's a little scary, to jump out there and be like, actually, when all my friends are wearing Lululemons and tube tops, I'm gonna wear a flannel and some jean shorts. It's a little scary to kind of do that, so I think every girl needs that moment where they're like, wow, I kind of look the same, but then you're slowly like, hey, I'm actually going to wear a skirt today, or I'm going to wear these fun, funky pants.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is ugly, but it's fun. I can make fun of them. But it's also like, well, I was wearing cat shirts and Justice pants when I was young, so I don't understand the appeal of Lululemon. One of my biggest things is, why are middle school girls so beautiful now? When I was in middle school, I was the ugliest little rat there was. What were you like in middle school, Haleigh?
I was trying to fit in, but also I had my emo phase. So I was like wearing like the flannel and the black shirt, and I was wearing leggings because I didn't like jeans at the time. So I'd wear black Forever 21 $3 leggings. I would wear a band shirt from Hot Topic, and I would wear like a flannel from like Target or something, and like the low top black Vans, and like, yep, I would go to school.
Busting a fit, I see.
For sure.
Wow.
But then like 8th grade, I was like, all right, boys don't like me, so I have to change now. Don't do that.
Me.
Don't do that, because boys didn't like me anyways.
That's true. What did you wear, my dear friend over here?
During middle school for me was all about layers. So like you said, Justice was in, so I would wear the camisole and would layer the open flannel. We had to wear IDs, and definitely at someone's bar, bat mitzvah, I had a dog tag with my name on it that I put on I probably looked more like a skater girl, even though I never touched a skateboard, but that was the look. And I know it was a very big deal when I finally convinced my mom to let me wear eyeliner in middle school. So there was a lot going on, but yeah, I think your style changes, like you said, but keep it to yourself. Don't try to change for boys.
Yeah.
Did you have like the crazy bat mitzvah party phase? Like, was that a thing in your middle school?
I went to one bat mitzvah. None of my friends were Jewish. I'm Jewish, but none of my friends were. But I dropped out of Hebrew school, so I didn't have a bat mitzvah. Yeah, I went to one. It was nice. It was on a yacht.
Oh, that sounds
It
fire.
was crazy. And that girl that I went to her bat mitzvah, she just got a crazy nose job where they took like
today,
half of her nose off.
Today or during the bat mitzvah?
A few months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she had like a standard Jew nose, which I don't think you should, if you don't feel confident in your nose, yeah, change it, but like, I don't know, I don't think you should take away your entire nose, because what happens when you take the bandage off and you look like a completely different person? I guess that's gotta be kind of like dysphoric.
That's kind of what you want, so is it not? To look like a completely different person? So how was the procedure done again? They took like all of her nose off, you said? Voldemort out here?
Well, she had a bump, and now it's literally like, it's like a tiny, tiny button nose.
It takes a long time to heal.
Oh
I
my
bet.
god, it's
Recovery time.
terrifying.
My other friend, though, she's Arab, and she had like, also like, the Middle Eastern kind of nose, but she just wanted to take away the bump. So she got a nose job and she just took away the bump, and it literally, her face looks the same, her side profile doesn't even look that different. So I don't know.
Did you go to any bat mitzvahs? Is that your thing?
I had a bat mitzvah myself too.
Oh.
But, yeah, I definitely went to my fair share, but also just fun fact about me, that was my first job in high school was I worked for an entertainment company. So I got to, instead of working like, cash register somewhere, long hours, I worked some days of weekends, Friday nights, and was a dancer and
That sounds like so much fun.
like party motivator. So I got to go and party and get these moody middle schoolers out on the dance floor. So I've definitely experienced
difficult.
it was hard, but I mean, you said that you went on a bar bat mitzvah on a yacht. I worked one on a boat, and I was just like, oh my goodness. There are a lot of people out there who will pay a lot of money for their 13-year-olds.
Yeah, it was crazy.
There's my bro. I was babysitting this kid named whatever his name was. Let's call him Bandana Man. Bandana. He went to the same middle school that I did, St. Andrews, and it's a relatively very Jewish community. 80% of the kids there are Jewish. So one of his invitations was a snow globe. The girl had sent out snow globes to 200 people of her.
Glass or
yes,
plastic?
they were glass of her in the middle, with like the snow, and it was like, come to this girl's bat mitzvah, and I'm like, that invitation right there is just the amount of money they'll spend on the invitations itself, which is so interesting to me.
It also seems like at each party there was always a big event or partner that was there. At this one it was airbrush T-shirts and the ultimate candy bar at this one, and there was always a fun thing at each one. It was like who could outdo the next.
I'm a party host too at my I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name of the company, but I work at a golf place. So it's like kind of like an off the wall kind of place.
Right.
Yeah. So I party host there.
And do you get people on the dance floor and like will lead the follow along dances, or are you more organizer?
You have to do like games. You have to do like 3 games with the package. And so you have to get like, if they're teenagers, like, and you're like the same age as them, you just kind of have to.
It's a little hard.
Yeah, and everything in the party has to go on a schedule. So it's like, if they're not like cooperating, it's.
You give them the help me eyes of I'm just trying to do my
Yeah.
job. When they look at you like I'm on my phone, leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly. They want to like do TikTok dances in the corner, and I'm just like,
Oh God.
please just help me out a little bit, please.
TikTok dances, how do you guys feel about them? Are like they your thing? Do you love doing them? Are you like, ew, I could never?
I used to do them. I just can't dance though. You probably do them. Actually, I don't. Is that your generation?
Is which dance you said? Just TikTok dancing?
Yeah.
I've seen one or two, but I feel like TikTok.
Are you on TikTok?
I have a TikTok mirror just to see and keep up with everything, so I've watched them. I know some, but not all. I think that the whole applications like TikTok, what's the other one? Like, I didn't really do Trillers.
Trillers I never did. Never did Trillers.
There's another one out there too that was
Vine?
really big.
I
Vine-
love
okay.
Vine.
I did Vine.
Vine was
Loved
around.
Vine.
I know I'm a little bit older. Vine was big, but I feel like TikTok blew up when I was in college, and so I think college kids looked at it as, oh, it's the high schooler thing to do. So no, that wasn't as big when I did the party entertainment company,
Yeah.
but I'm sure that's an added challenge now, though, because I'm sure you now have to keep up with all those different kinds of routines and trends.
Everyone used to hate on TikTok. They'd be like, ew, like this stupid little app. And now every
Yeah.
single person is trying to get famous on it.
And it blew up.
Yes.
I'm trying so hard. You get so famous in 2 seconds from doing this stuff. All right, so I want to circle back around to the fast fashion debate, just because I feel like we didn't touch it that much on it. Do you think that fast fashion has made it like too convenient for us to just add things to our cart, check out, and not think about the repercussions?
I think so.
I think it's hard to decipher because you're like, oh my God, like $5 jeans.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
crazy. I'm so excited, and you buy them without really thinking like, why are these jeans only $5? So I think it's, people don't really give enough information about where these things are coming from, but I know some pretty big companies, like for example, I've heard that Nike also has some fast fashion. Like, you
Yep.
never know where things are truly coming
And it's
from.
expensive companies too. Like some of the shoes are cheap, but like most of the shoes can be like,
So
people
much money.
collect them for like thousands and thousands of dollars, and it's crazy because kids literally just made that in a sweatshop, and now you're buying it and you're collecting it, and it's on your shelf. You have a collection of children's sweatshop merchandise. How do you feel?
But it's also like, is it really my fault if I had no idea? Because if I'm buying these shoes for, let's say, $300, I'm like, wow, these are some great quality shoes. Like, I bet they were made very well. I mean, I know Louis Vuittons are made by hand and they're very expensive, so I'd be like, wow, like, hopefully these are also made by hand, or not even made by hand, but made well. How am I to know that these are young children who are slaving away making them? Obviously, I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. But how would I know?
I
Do you-
think with companies more like Shein, is it Shein? Shein, I think, is something I think of immediately, where it's almost everything on their website is super cheap. So to a degree, you know, whereas someone like Nike or other brands where you may not know or it may go under the radar, there's just other brands out there though that I think it's just so easy to purchase 1, 2, 3 and get the newest trend instead of being conscious about what you're doing and your actions long term, you know. And also just sometimes when you're getting something that cheap, material and quality isn't going to have the same longevity as something really handmade, or it won't do the same. So I think just being conscious, recycling. I mean, you, just like you said, purchasing off of eBay, keeping things around like that, hand-me-downs.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is going to be the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much to my beautiful guests for helping me
Anytime.
get through this one today. Hopefully next week I will have that beautiful rapper coming in to talk to you guys about her
Journey.
her journey, her music, her career. Yeah. So I
So
will
it's
see you
Megan Thee
guys next
Stallion?
week. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Inside Out with Haleigh. Tune in next Wednesday for more talk about connecting with your inner and outer self, along with a range of other topics regarding young women and social media. See you next week.